Do you know who you are? That's a question I can guarantee you many people today don't have an answer to. It's all based on the premise of finding the idea of I, which is what makes you, you. It's the concoction of all the strengths, abilities, goals, dreams, desires, perspectives, beliefs, values, and anything else you have that makes up you. There may be several reasons why you're struggling to find you, but I can guarantee you one reason is you're probably spending too much time consuming online media, whether that be scrolling social media, watching TV, or playing video games. I have to realize that all that internet media and stuff that you consume really does affect your perspective of the world and of yourself. You have to ask yourself, what is your content diet? To determine if what you're watching and what you consume on a regular basis is good or bad. And the easiest way to do that is after you watch a video or anything, no more than 5 to 10 minutes after, really sit down and ask yourself, how did that make me feel? The best way to find you is to go out and make experiences. Staying cooped up in your room will not help you discover yourself. I have some steps and suggestions to help find yourself, and one of the main things is you have to really learn to utilize self-awareness, both internal and external self-awareness. Internal self-awareness is the values, passions, aspirations, thoughts, feelings, and the strengths and weaknesses that you have. And the internal self-awareness is related to higher social control and overall happiness, which means it's also negatively related to the anxiety and stress and depression that you may be feeling when really trying to figure out who you are. The external self-awareness, on the other hand, is how others in the world view us. Now, there's a really cool Harvard Business Review article that I'm going to link down in the description below that you can go and read for yourself. I highly recommend it. That goes a little more in depth with self-awareness. It outlines a 4-quadrant square of self-awareness. The quadrants are made up of the introspectors, which are the people that are clear on the self but shut out from the outside perspective of others. The aware, those who really know who they are, how others view them, what they want to accomplish, and they value other people's opinions. Seekers, who don't know who they are or how others feel about them. And then the pleasers. These are the people who are worried about how they look to others but don't know what they truly want from themselves. Another suggestion I have is you really have to learn to utilize introspection. You have to really sit down and analyze both your mental and emotional state. If you frequent the self-improvement space, you've probably heard this term before, but one thing I found is that a lot of people really use this wrong, or kind of look at it in the wrong way, because they ask why instead of what. The reason why using the word why is not a good question to ask yourself is because a lot of the time it can lead to invented answers. These are answers that feel true, they have too much wiggle room, you kind of more just make them up in your head, and they're not actually true to what you're actually feeling. Regarding the usage of what, that same Harvard Business Review article that we talked about earlier took 100 people that were classified as highly self-aware and looked at a lot of their writings and papers that they've done and really looked to see what helped them become classified as these highly self-aware people. They took this question of what versus why, and when looking at this, they found that the word why was used 150 times, which is a lot through those hundreds of papers that they've written. Now what they really found was interesting is the fact that the word what was used more than 1,000 times. People focus more on the objective truth rather than what they felt was right, and it gave less wiggle room to the whole idea of the objective truth. So they didn't really question what they had, it was more concrete of a truth that they felt. Another suggestion I have is you can go back and analyze things from your childhood. Really sit back and look, what were some of the interests, the hobbies, what were some stories from your childhood that you can look back on to really think, yeah, I enjoyed that. That's something I enjoy, that could be a part of me. The last suggestion I have is embracing the silence. Many people today really can't sit with themselves and their thoughts in silence. So one thing you really need to do is practice patience and mindfulness. One thing I recommend to really practice that patience and mindfulness is meditation. Meditation allows you to practice that mindfulness and patience that allows you to really check in with yourself and realize what you want, need, and desire. It allows you to find things that you really and truly find meaning through. By taking that ability to really sit back and internalize the thoughts and feelings and examine them, you can really get a good idea of what you like to do and what you want to be a part of you. Final thoughts, you will never truly know who you are. You will never come to the full knowledge of that idea of I, and that's because you change as you grow, and that's guaranteed. You're never going to be stagnant so much in your life at one point in time that you really can sit there and say, I know who I am. The idea of you will always be in a constant state of motion, which you will always be chasing. It's kind of like that video of the dog walking in the water treadmill when they're going through rehab, trying to get the treat. You know they're never going to get there, but you kind of hope they get there because you're like, I want to see him succeed. You may be sitting here thinking to yourself, what's the point if I'm never going to know truly who I am? Well, that's the thing. Beauty is that there's nowhere else to go from here but up. And you have full accountability on who you turn out to be. You get to discover what you enjoy doing. And you right there, get to write the narrative on your life. And nobody else can make that decision for you. So go out and experiment. Embrace the lessons of life that you learn, and go meet and talk to new people, and I guarantee you'll be glad you did in the end. And also I can guarantee you that by the end of it, you'll have learned at least one new thing about yourself. So enjoy the process, because it is endless, and it is the only thing guaranteed on your journey to discovering who you are.
Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. If you like what you saw here today, I recommend you come back in the future, as I'm planning on posting on this channel a lot more. And as always, everybody, have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.